Hello, in this video I'm going to go over another fun build video that I've made. This build is quite capable, as you'll be able to see in this video. I am calling this Me Up Sicky. This is a fun build. Basically, I'm running Overland gear in this build, as you can see, except for the monster helm and the mythic are not technically Overland, I suppose. But I have the Velothi Mythic on. You could change that out to use the Pale Order Ring if you need to, and just make another Venomous Smite necklace to swap those out as you want to. But I am using Venomous Smite, which comes from Western Skyrim, and then Defilers, which comes from Vvardenfell. These are both pretty powerful sets for Overland because their 2, 3, and 4 bonuses are really good. They have critical chance and weapon damage built into them. Vvardenfell Defiler set is a medium set that has 1 line of weapon damage, 2 lines of critical chance, and then when you deal critical damage, a hunger comes out and spews poison in an area of effect. It's a direct damage area of effect poison, so goes really well with beaming because that is area of effect direct damage as well. And then for the Western Skyrim set, Venomous Smite is also a medium armor set. This is a proc set that activates every 15 seconds, so it's a really good back bar set. You do critical damage on your back bar, and it inflicts the enemy with poison for 10 seconds, and so it has a 5-second cooldown. But that's a really good back bar set to use. So let's get into the build a little bit. I'm a stamina Dark Elf, basically. Um, the classes that I'm using are obviously Herald of the Tome, Assassination from Nightblade, and the Gravelord's skill line from the Necromancer. I have a front bar dual wield and a back bar two-handed sword. And the reason why I have that set up is because when you do critical damage, you activate the Venomous Smite set, and this Stampede is basically a critical strike. This attack always is a critical strike, so whenever you hit this, it's going to proc the weapon. So as long as you do this every 15 seconds, which is the same cooldown for the gear set, if you keep this up every 15 seconds, you will reproc the Venomous Smite on cooldown 100%. Basically, this is the same setup that I have used in my other fun builds, and that is I have, if you look up at the top right-hand corner, it shows the gear sets, the 5X on the Defilers, and then the 4X on the Venomous Smite basically illustrates the front bar, what is active, and then on the other side of the hash mark there, or backslash rather, is what is available on the back bar. Four pieces are always active of both of those sets, regardless of what bar you're on. And then depending on which bar you're on is where the sets are active. Front bar Defilers is active for the 5-piece, and on the back bar Venomous Smite is. So prior Thierric is the monster set I chose to use with this. If you're not aware of what that does, I have done a video on that. I will link some of my playlists in the description. Some of my other videos that I've done for fun builds. But basically, when you deal direct damage in an area of effect, which basically that is the beam, then this will fire off a 6-meter shadow whirlwind below the enemy for 7 seconds, where they will take physical damage, and on top of that, they take an extra 5% increased damage to your area of effect abilities. So this is going to buff all your area of effect damage for 7 seconds by 5%, as well as doing physical damage. And this can be procced every 15 seconds. So those are the sets that I'm wearing. Let's get into the skills. Really, I'm just kind of not really having a staple here. Reaper's Mark is from the Assassination skill line. This is really good for using. You can gain major berserk from this, which will increase your damage by 10%. All you have to do is pretty much when you're going up to an ad pull, pick the basically the weakest enemy that's going to die first, and this is going to give you a burst heal for one that will pop you up to full health if you need it, and then also it will apply major breach to the enemy that you are hitting, and then so that will help it die faster, even more so. And then you gain major berserk for 10 seconds after it dies, and then you can also tag this on the next person while you're still fighting to try and keep up major berserk the entire time. You can activate this from 50 meters away. I'll just show that really quickly. This guy right here, I will walk all the way to the other side of my boat here, and you can hit him with it. And as you can see, he's marked, and he's got that red icon above him. And this is easy to hit from a long distance, as you can see. So that's a nice way to try and start your fight out. So for example, if I was heading up to an ad pull here like this, you could do your regular pre-buff that like you do, firing off skills, and then you want to tag somebody with that and then come in, and then you can start hitting people with your stuff and then beaming. And as you can see there, that guy died. So I can sit there and go like this and fire off my ultimate, tag the next guy with the Reaper's Mark. And as you can see, this has quite a bit of area of effect involved in it, and there's a lot of visualness to it. You're proccing a lot of poison damage, and the damage numbers, as you can see, are pretty fun to use and flying off the handle there. So this is a fun build. It's not meant for trials, although I will say I did parse on this, and I pretty much hit 100,000 on the dummy. So I don't know. You may be able to take this into trials. I don't have the skill sets here finalized. This was just kind of a rough setup to kind of keep poison damage in there. So, for example, the Shadowy Silk I was using might not be the most optimal skill to use there, but the skills set up here that I have, the main thing that you want to have on here is Detonating Siphon from the Necromancer, the Syphiliarch's Flail, and the Exhausting Fatecarver. I have Concealed Weapon on here to give additional critical chance on the bar by slotting an Assassination skill, and it also will give me Minor Expedition on either bar, so that speeds my build up a little bit. Nice little buff for Overland. And then I have Flawless Dawnbreaker on the front bar to help increase damage and proc the Fighters Guild passives. Then on the back bar, I'm using Inspired Scholarship, and as well as the Gravelord's Sacrifice from the Gravelord skill line, Shadow Silk, as I said, Stampede, and then I have Merciless Resolve here to give me Major Prophecy and Savagery on either bar, and then it also has a burst heal in there if I need it on top of the one that comes from Reaper's Mark. So, and then the back bar skill is the Languid Eye. So really quickly before I do anything, I'll just hold the screen here so you can see the skills and the race and the base class, and the Mundus is the thief, and there's the class skill lines. The food I'm using, as you can see on the screen, is the Lava Foot Soup. This shows all of my CP nodes here. The Master at Arms, Wrathful Strikes, Biting Aura, and Exploiter, with the red tree being Boundless Vitality, Fortified, Celerity, and Rejuvenation. Again, I wouldn't keep Rejuvenation slotted at all times. It's not a real great one. I just pop it on when I'm parsing because there's virtually nothing else really that I'm going to benefit from there. The green tree, as always, Warmount, Gifted Rider, Master, Gatherer, and Steed's Blessing. For the front bar weapon gear traits, I have Nirnhoned and Charged, as always, for the daggers, with flame and poison enchantments. And then the back bar is an infused weapon damage glyph as always. The Velothi mythic on there with all the jewelry is bloodthirsty and increased physical damage. I have 7 pieces of Divine's armor, all with stamina glyphs, and then one of the pieces, I believe it's the shoulder piece. Yes, the shoulder piece is light. All these are medium, except for the shoulder is light. So all medium armor with 1 light piece. As I said, it's a 2-handed venomous sword, and then the front bar is 1 venomous dagger, 1 defilers. You don't have to put them in that specific order. You just want to have 1 of each. That way you have always 4 pieces active at once if you're going to make this build. So let's get into one more thing before I go into that. We'll go into the log here that I have that shows. I'll have to delete there we go. So this is the parse that I did, just kind of checking to see what kind of damage I can get out of this build. As you can see from the log here, we have Hunter's Venom. This is actually Venomous Smite. It does quite a bit of damage. And then Shadow Silk did quite a bit as well, so that is a pretty decent damaging skill. Detonating Siphon and Stampeder right here up top. And then Prior Thierric is not real great at damage, but this is a fun build. This is just kind of trying to figure out something off meta to break the monotony of running the same old stuff every time. In terms of damage over time to direct damage ratio, I'm just about 70% direct damage, 80% area of effect. So there's a lot of area of effect damage here. We'll go back up here to the top so you can see the overview again. As you can see, the critical chance was huge on here with 72% critical chance, quite a bit. So this damage I believe is pretty decent. Go into the character screen here so we can look at the penetration on the build is pretty decent for 5769 on the back bar and the front bar actually. Let's just see if that increases. Well, I don't remember if there's a penetration. Okay, that is what it is. So basically, if you're looking at trying to figure out what this looks like when you proc your weapon glyph, and you get some. There we go. So we've got 6,000 weapon damage roughly, 62 weapon critical, so pretty high, pretty decent numbers. I should say this is fairly easy to sustain on. I had a pretty easy time parsing with it. A lot of these skills are stuff that I don't even touch. For example, the concealed weapon and the Reaper's Mark I don't touch while parsing. I'm only managing these front 3 skills here. And this is simply here to proc the Flawless Dawnbreaker ultimate is there to proc the Fighters Guild passives. On the back bar, I'm managing basically these 4. So it's a total of 7 skills out of a normal 10. So not as it's not quite it's a little bit more than a 1.5 bar build, I would say, but it's pretty easy to handle. A lot of these back bar skills are pretty long lasting. So it's not that difficult of a build to run. Pretty fun to use, as you could see. There's a lot of there's the poison pool down there, and then you can see this is the Defiler's guy that comes out and spews every so often. There's another one there. It comes out every 6 seconds pretty much, and as you can see, it comes out quite a lot, and it's very easy to proc these sets, and they work really well together. They pretty much proc almost passively on this build, and so it does really look like a bunch of vomit on the ground. So that's why I called the build what I did with the Me Up Sicky. So I think I've covered everything on this. The Mundus is the thief. The gear traits, the food is lava foot soup. Potions, I've almost forgot the potions. I just run a tripod on here because I already have Major Brutality and Sorcery from the Inspired Scholarship, and then the Prophecy and Savagery from the Nightblade skill. So I don't really need to use weapon power pots. I just need the recovery. So I just use tripods to give everything the 30% boost there from the standard tripods. Again, this is a pretty fun build to run. I just basically was looking to make a poison themed build that was a little bit different and off of the norm. So I thought I would make a video for this, showing that you can, in fact, make a fun build that is off meta that just uses basically Overland gear. If you don't have the prior Thierric mask, that comes from the dungeon Red Petal Bastion. Basically, all you'll need to do is farm the dungeon on Veteran. Not a super difficult dungeon on normal vet. The hard mode can be a little bit of a pain, but the shoulder piece you can buy from the DLC vendor, or keep an eye out for the gold vendor in Cyrodiil. If you've got AP, you can buy it from the gold vendor if it becomes available that way. So that is just about it for this build video. If you liked this video and thought it was interesting or helpful, please check out my YouTube channel. I have a very large catalog, over 280 videos on the video game now. I will post multiple things in my description, as I always do, playlists and other videos that I've done if you're interested in checking those out. I'll put my DPS playlist in there because that pretty much is pertaining to DPS on this video. Please check out my YouTube channel, see if there's anything else that you would find interesting. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.